So this is a story about how I fought the law and I won. So the story starts earlier this year. It was the middle of February. I was on my way to work, and I work at a railway. So I was driving up to the crossing that's just right outside of where I work. It's on a back road, just for context. And I pull up to it. I stop because the lights are flashing, but there's no wigwags, which are the little arms that come down across the crossing. We call them wigwags. So the lights are going, but the law states that you have to stop first, observe, and when it is safe, you're allowed to proceed, as long as there's no obviously immediate danger. So I pulled up. There's an engine parked right there to my left. It's about 200 feet away from the crossing. It stopped. The conductor's off. He's walking towards a switch, which is, for those of you who don't know much about railway, the switch is what you use to decide which rail you're going to go to. So he's lining the switch to go from, because it's lined against him, to go towards the wrong rail. So he's walking up to grab it, but I work there and I know exactly what he's doing. He doesn't even have any rail cars on him. He's just lined himself up for later when he's actually going to use that. So I give him a wave. He waves back. I continue on. I pull into my parking lot at work. There's a cop sitting there. And boom, off go the lights. He pulls me over right in the parking lot. I'm about 50 feet from a parking spot. He comes up and he's pretty pissed. He's, can't believe what you just did. You know how dangerous that is. And I'm like, well, the engine was stopped, and he's still stopped. He's sitting right there. He hasn't even moved at all from when I pulled up. And he's like, yeah, well, you're setting a bad example for the public, which, for starters, there was me, the cop, and the conductor. We're the only three people, even in eyesight. We're the only three people that seen what I did, and there's no law saying I have to set a good example for the public, nor was I even setting a bad example for the public, in my opinion. I followed the law exactly. I stopped. I waited till I looked around. I made sure it was safe. It was plenty safe. I went, and in fact, even as we were talking, at the start of the conversation between me and the police officer, the engine was still parked there, and the conductor, he walked back, and the engine actually, a couple minutes later, actually started taking off away from the roadway, just to show, there's never any chance of danger there. So I was obviously not going to stand for that. I was in a pretty bad mood because the officer just pulled me over, and me and him were going back and forth about what the law actually says, and apparently he didn't understand what the law was, or he was in a bad mood himself and decided he was going to try and flex his muscle, and I was going to be the target that day. Regardless, so I go and I submit to fight in court because I'm not paying that ridiculous ticket. So then fast forward, that was back mid-February, and today was my day in court. It's December 12th. So, but previously I requested, I'd talked to the prosecutor. I requested multiple times for my disclosure, which is the evidence package, and there was absolutely no evidence package. So when I got to court today, the prosecutor made a motion to withdraw all charges because they had no evidence, and there was also no evidence of me doing anything wrong because I didn't do anything wrong. I'd even talked to a retired police officer beforehand, and he agreed with me on my side that I had done absolutely nothing wrong. I followed the law. It's up to the driver to perceive when it is safe to proceed. And me, I mean, I know exactly what the guy was doing. I've worked at the railway for 10 years. I knew there was no danger, and the engine was stopped, so I think almost anyone would have assumed that there would be no danger involved, regardless of whether you have railroad experience or not. But in the end, it was a good day. All the charges were withdrawn, or well, there's only the one charge withdrawn, and because I only had the one charge. But it was a good day, and just remember, if you know you're in the right, don't let them try and bully you into paying a ticket that you didn't do anything wrong for. It's really good reason to make sure that you know the law, and that's the story of how I fought the law and I won.